Bom dia! Well, can't be perfect all of the time here. Since I arrived back in Brazil 2.5 years ago, I have to say everything's gone very, very smoothly. And I really haven't had any major problems or hiccups in restarting my life here. Things are much smoother and more efficient than they were 20 years ago when I first came here to Salvador. Uh, but this month, October, has not been going so well for me. I have three problems. I guess problems come in three. The first problem, of course, I've already mentioned, is that my landlady told me that she wants my apartment back. Uh, I have until the end of December to move out, but I'm not waiting until then. I am looking for an apartment now. My brother-in-law Eliamar is coming in from San Antonio to help me tomorrow, and hopefully I have something by the end of this month. I don't really want to move. I like this little apartment. It's very convenient. It's comfortable, but what can I do? The second problem is that this is an even bigger problem. Is that I am a victim of some kind of bank fraud. Every month, I get my Social Security deposited into my U.S. bank account. And so at the beginning of every month, I go to the bank and I withdraw it. It takes me 3 or 4 withdrawals because there is a daily limit. Of course, I withdraw it in Brazilian reais. So day one and day two, I went to the bank and withdrew the daily limit, no problem. But day three, I went to the bank and it was telling me, the screen message on the screen was telling me that the system was down. That happens not often, not like it used to happen all the time, but it happens occasionally, especially on weekends. So I thought, no big deal. I went back on Sunday again. Some messages, it's like system is down. And I went on Monday morning, and again I was getting this message, and it should have been fixed by Monday. So I called my bank in the United States using the toll-free number and said I was having a problem making a withdrawal, and they checked and they said that the reason was because I had no money in my bank account. Uh-oh. Which was not true. They looked it up and they said that on Friday I had made 2 withdrawals. And that is not true. I made 1 withdrawal on Friday and 1 withdrawal on Thursday, but on Friday I did not make 2 withdrawals. I said there must be some kind of mistake or fraud or something. They said they would investigate it. That would take up to 45 days to investigate. So hung up and was pissed off, thought about my situation. This is the kind of situation where one realizes that one is 7,000 miles away from your former home base, far away from the origin of the problem, and you're kind of out in no man's land. So I looked at my money situation. I had already paid my rent, thankfully, and I calculated that I just might have enough money on hand to make it through the end of this month. Just might. But I was going to have to dip into the money I had put aside for renting my new apartment. You have to most probably going to have to put down. I'm going to have to put down first and last month's rent, and that I didn't have enough money for my most expensive medication, which I'm out of and need to refill. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to swallow my pride and call my best friend again and borrow some more money. He had just sent me some money the week before, but I did contact him, explain what was going on. He had already been alerted to it because my bank in the U.S. had called Caldwell. I use his telephone number as my U.S. bank number. So the bank had called him and left a message saying that they had deactivated my ATM card because they detected fraud on their end. So he knew I wasn't BSing him, and he agreed to send me another small amount of money to cover my medications that I need to buy today. Thank you, you know who you are. So I did get the money instantly. That's why I highly recommend Wise for money transfers. They're instantaneous. They go in and out of the bank accounts instantly. They're reliable, and they give a great exchange rate. So use Wise when you need money abroad. Anyway, that money landed in my account, so I can go this morning to the pharmacy and get my medication. As I said, the bank sent a message that they had deactivated my ATM card, and that they're sending me a new one. But I have to call them this morning to confirm that, and I'm going to have them send it to my best friend, the same best friend's house. Can't send it to Brazil. There's no reliable mail service here, especially to my building. Mail, if it arrives, the whoever he is that's in charge of the building gets around to actually putting it by my door sometimes a week after it arrives, and there's no mail slot, so it's just sitting there on my front mat. Anybody could pick it up, and it's likely that it would never arrive in the first place. So I decided that to have them send it to San Francisco, and then my friend will FedEx it here to Salvador, and I'll pick it up at the FedEx office here in Salvador, so that it's not delivered to my apartment. Okay, that whole process should take a week or less. I don't actually need to use the debit card until the beginning of next month, or late next month. So that's going to be okay. Knock on wood, it all works out well. And the third bad thing that's happened, not a major thing like the banking or getting evicted from my apartment, but last night my cable TV went out. This happens occasionally. Sometimes it's only for a few minutes, sometimes it's for a couple of hours, and it has happened where it's gone out for a few days, which is very annoying. I like watching cable news. I like being up to date. I have this Netflix series that I'm watching that I like to watch at night. Fortunately, I have a house full of books, and I'm a big reader. But especially late at night when you're tired, you just want to watch TV. But I can't without the cable. There is no TV. And if it doesn't come back on sometime late this morning, I'm going to have to call my brother-in-law Eliamar, and he'll have to call the cable company and see what's going on. So it's a drag. These three inconveniences or problems: having to find a new apartment, this banking problem, and this cable to TV problem. Are not putting me in the best mood. I have to keep it in perspective. They will all be resolved. But right now I'm feeling irritated and questioning what I'm doing here in Brazil and fantasizing about moving to another country. But of course, moving to Cambodia isn't going to make things easier. Even Cambodia is even less well developed than Brazil is. Brazil actually is pretty well developed. Cambodia, imagine if there's a banking problem or an internet problem, it's going to be much more difficult to solve. So, best thing to do is just hang tight, and this will be resolved. I have enough money to, get groceries and take care of my basic needs. But you feel out of control when you don't have access to your money at the bank. It's an unpleasant feeling. I can live without the cable TV. I can live with having to find a new apartment, but I don't like that feeling of not having access to banking. Makes one feel insecure when one is so far away from one's normal, if I may use that word, reality. Anyway, so that's what's happening today in my life here in Salvador Bahia, Brazil. So I came up with an idea this morning. My little brain is working overtime. Always happens when emergencies arrive. The adrenaline kicks in. My idea is that if I have a problem finding an apartment this month, I do have an option that I just thought about. Just a temporary solution, and that would be to move back to the small city located about 3.5, 4 hours from here, the city of Salvador, and live in my brother-in-law Eliamar's apartment. He actually has 4 apartments. He's quite the entrepreneur, and he owns 4 different apartments and/or houses. And I know he's got one apartment with a spare bedroom where his daughter lives, and so I would pay the rent, of course. The rent is like almost a third of what I'm paying right here in Salvador, so it would save me a lot of money. I could save money for 4 months, put the difference in the bank. It would give me more of a breathing room, have more of a nest egg. It would only be for 4 months. November, December, January, February. I'm not thrilled about the idea of returning to Santo Antonio. I left there for a reason. It's kind of not a happening place, but hey, it is in Brazil. It is in the state of Bahia, and it's easy to make day trips or weekend trips back into Salvador or to the other nice towns and small cities in the region. And as I said, I am still be in Brazil, so I definitely would consider that as an option, and it would only be for 4 months. November, December, January, and February. Carnival this year is in February, so everything becomes super expensive in Salvador come January and February. Carnival and the lead up to Carnival, prices triple, quadruple, especially for rents. Everybody wanting a short-term rental for Carnival season. So the idea would be I'd move back here to Salvador at the beginning of March, when everything slows down and prices become back to normal and there's lots of availability. So that gives me a sense of relief that I do have that alternative. Eliamar's apartment in Santo Antonio is a very nice apartment. It's in a condo. There's a pool. It's all very brand new. He has a garden, which I do like. I love gardening. I would just take the minimum with me. Some of my plants, the cat, of course, and leave the big things here in Salvador. She's not my sister-in-law. She's my stepdaughter, actually. But She does not call me stepdad. I came into her life already when she was adult. I actually called her cuñada, sister-in-law. And she calls me cuñado. And I could store my stuff, most of my stuff, at her apartment because she has a spare room. What in these older buildings would have been the maid's room. There's even a bathroom back there, but there's a spare room which she just uses for storage. And I could store my stuff back there. I don't have a lot of stuff. So that is the alternative plan if I don't find an apartment here in Salvador that I like and that is affordable for me by the end of the month. There's always a solution. In Brazil it's called o jeitinho, the famous jeitinho brasileiro. So there we go. We'll see what happens. Oh, and I'm here in the mall, by the way, shopping center I should say. It's just 3 blocks from my house, and I'm here to pick up my medication, my Ozempic, that weekly injection I give myself for diabetes. It costs the equivalent of $200 here, which is it's about 1,000 reais a month. Sounds like a lot, but remember that in the United States it costs $1,000 a month. Another reason why I live here in Brazil. So let me go pick up that medication. Well, I just went to my usual pharmacy where I get my Ozempic, and they're out of it. I thought that was a big problem in the United States, shortages of Ozempic, but I hope it's not a problem here. It's just a problem at that one pharmacy. Because I do take it for my diabetes. It's worked wonders. My blood sugar levels are down to normal, and as a side benefit, not one I was looking for or expected, but I've lost an enormous amount of weight. As you know, people use it off-label for weight loss, but so I don't complain about that. But I'm going to go to another pharmacy here in the shopping center, and hopefully they have it. Hope it's not a citywide shortage. We'll see. As you can see, this is not my lucky month. Hopefully this Ozempic issue is not going to turn into big problem number 4. Let's find out. Okay, here's another pharmacy right here. Drogaria Sao Paulo. Let's see if they have it. Okay, that Farmácia did not have it either, but they do have it at a branch at another pharmacy not far away from here. It's very walkable. It's up that street I often take my daily walks on, and I bought it. I paid for it at this pharmacy, got the receipt. They said I can just go there and pick it up. So hopefully it works. Let's see. Well, I'm feeling a lot better since I left the house, and I've been getting some fresh air and walking now. Walking always alleviates any anxiety I have. And I also feel better because I've been coming up with some solutions, or at least some alternatives to my problem. That idea I had this morning of moving back to San Antonio for 4 months and living very inexpensively and saving money there is one. And I'm walking to the other pharmacy now. Hopefully they, since I paid for it, they have it. As I mentioned, here Ozempic costs 1,000 reais a month, or the equivalent of $200. And I mentioned to the pharmacist there that in the United States I used to pay, the one time I filled the prescription there, I paid 5,000 reais, or the equivalent of $1,000, and they were totally shocked. I still find it shocking. That the healthcare system and the pharmaceutical companies are very exploitative in the United States. There's no reason why it has to cost $1,000 a month in the United States. it doesn't cost that anywhere else in the world. I looked out online. In England, for example, it costs less than $100 a month. Here it's $200 a month, and in California, it was $1,000 a month. Absurd. Rise up, Americans. Take control of the system. Whatever you do, don't vote Republican or for Donald Trump. Thank you. You probably recognize where I'm walking from my previous episodes. This is a very nice street to walk along. It has a center divide that's well planted with nice trees, so I'm not complaining at all about being sent on this detour to pick up my prescription. Oh, and this morning when I got on the scale, I hit another record low. Remember my heaviest, this was at least 2 or 3 years ago, my weight was 220 pounds, and through a series of changes, eliminating sweet beverages like soda, becoming a vegetarian, eating much healthier fruits and vegetables, and then when I was diagnosed with diabetes, getting on this Ozempic drug that I'm going to pick up now, which also the side effect benefit is that it also causes large weight loss. This morning when I got on the scale, I was at a new record for myself of 164. I mean, the last time I looked, I was at 167. Just, a week ago. It is incredible. The weight loss. I don't know how much lower I could possibly go. I have to take this medication for the rest of my life. If it continues like this, I'm going to one day just turn into a stick man or just completely disappear. I don't think that'll happen, but as I said, I'm not complaining, at least not yet, although a lot of my clothes don't fit me anymore. I was a GG or extra large, and now I am just a large, because I like my clothes, my shirts especially, to fit loose. I don't like really tight. But a lot of my pants, I'm swimming in my shirts, and my pants and my belt that I use with it they just fall off my waist. And so I've had to buy some new clothes, but again, I'm not complaining. Okay, and there it is, Drogaria Sao Paulo. They sent me here to pick it up, and hopefully they have it. Yay, mission accomplished, they have it. So, I picked it up, and now I'm heading home because this is medication that has to be kept in the refrigerator, has to be kept cold. So I'm heading straight home to put it in the refrigerator. See you there. So I'm back home with Kitty. The medication is safely in the refrigerator. I'm feeling a lot calmer and more centered after that nice walk and accomplishing a few things this morning. I'm feeling excited about my plan, my alternative plan for moving. I've decided that all of these problems I'm having this month are a test from the universe, a test of whether I'm really committed to living here in Brazil, whether I still have the stamina and the gumption to live abroad. No place is perfect, and this has just been a reminder that sometimes things don't always work perfectly, and I just got to stick to it, and it'll all work out in the end. So anyway, have a great rest of the week. Beijos.